This government absolutely despises the internet, and of that I am absolutely sure. How do I know that? They've set up a commission to watch what you say online. Hilarious that, isn't it? I mean, unbelievable that we're living in Orwellian times where they're setting up a commission headed by goofballs to be keeping an eye on what you're saying, and an awful lot of the time, if not all of the time, what you're saying is the truth, and that's what they're trying to report back to other people on. These people said this, but it's accurate. But they said this. That's because it goes against narrative, isn't that right? Yep, that's exactly what that's about. So that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing, for example, hate speech laws and hate crime laws be drafted towards being made into absolute reality here in this country, which is absurd. And these are things that are happening because this government have chosen not to listen to the people when the people have said, hey, there's a big problem here, you're letting in way too many people and people can't buy houses. Micheál Martin instead is over in the White House laughing, giggling away, sniggering away to himself about the fact that people can't afford houses here in this country. His children aren't going to be worrying about affording a house in this country. Of that you can be absolutely certain. So that doesn't worry him, that doesn't bother him at all. And that's a politician in Micheál Martin that's been in politics since 1995 with no notable achievements behind him. A guy that's very interested in Ukraine's borders and their sovereignty, but not very interested in the borders and sovereignty of Ireland. Said as much in the Dáil, recorded as such, by the way, saying that it was a backwards way of sovereignty, backwards notion. Unbelievable stuff, that, isn't it? And then he goes and makes a post like this. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, March 30th, 2025 was Mother's Day in Ireland. He didn't celebrate Mother's Day on Twitter here in Ireland. Weird that. Didn't wish a happy Mother's Day to anyone here in Ireland, to any mother here in Ireland. Comes as no surprise to me, because you see him and his ilk only last year tried to remove the word woman and mother from the Constitution. Makes no surprise to me. You then have a number of people online, and I mean, this is where things have gone, by the way, just so you know, because I've seen this online, I have, and there's a lot of people that have gone dark. They have absolutely gone dark when it comes to these things, and they have said, sure, why would Micheál Martin celebrate Mother's Day? Because, sure, look at what happened to two of his kids. Yikes on that. But a lot of people now are looking at it as it is, which is Micheál Martin has just voted continuously to make your life worse. He has voted for you to be locked within your home when it came to the sniffles that came from China. He voted for you to become a second tier person, a second class citizen in your own country when it came to those sniffles. And he has voted for various other things that have caused you more bother than relief. He's also telling you he doesn't really know what a vetted person is. This is absurd stuff. This is stuff that's going on in the Dáil. It's an absolute clown show. So that's the explanation as to why people have gotten a lot more dark and callous when it comes to these politicians, because they understand that these politicians have voted for very negative things over the years, like the aforementioned stuff, but also, for example, the likes of the repeal of the 8th. That's evil as far as I'm concerned. So, like, people are not worrying about how they look anymore. They're not worrying about how they sound. They're not worrying about being callous or not being callous towards these politicians, because these politicians have disrespected people over the last number of decades, and people have said enough. And I can understand that. And then you see this. So Micheál Martin chose Mother's Day of all days, of course, to celebrate a religion with a lot of dubious things behind it, and a lot of situations that have happened over the years behind it that are wholly negative, and linkages between certain groups as well that have now allegedly infiltrated Ireland, which isn't good at all, because there's no vetting system into people coming into this country. There's just an open border situation that has happened into this country. And what you get is a religion that fawns over a man that was 52 years of age when he married a 6-year-old. Do you know what the left's answer to that is, by the way? No, he wasn't actually 52. Well, actually he was, but she was 9. She wasn't 6. That's their answer to that. She was 9. She wasn't 6. I'll just leave that with you for a second. Would you allow your daughter at 6 years of age marry a 52-year-old man? No is the answer there, obviously. Would you let your 9-year-old daughter marry a 52-year-old man? Again, no is the answer there. Very simple, very clear cut. What we've seen over the last while with the internet is a number of Christian preachers and a number of other people that are big time streamers and content creators online ask people of the Muslim faith about that, and they unanimously agree with it. I have yet to see one video where someone condemns that and says, no, that's not right. They support it. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. You see, that's the difference between a Christian nation and a nation under a completely false individual. And Christianity, let me make no bones about it here, is the one true religion. Christ is king. Christ was real. The Shroud of Turin has confirmed that. Various texts and scriptures have confirmed that. Christ is the only one who was put down and got back up. That's very John Wick, I suppose, when you think about it, but that's the facts. And you have seen these people on the left hand side and people within government and politicians and like that vehemently try and oppose Christianity. Now I know what's going to go next. And you see, that's the gift of forethought and foresight. You're going to get some morons that are going to go, but the Christian church. Nobody is saying what the Christian church did was a positive move. The institution, as far as I'm concerned, now I'm going to spell it out here, the institution has done wrong things over the years which are absolutely to be condemned and should be condemned. But that's the difference between you and me. I will condemn anyone up to nonsense and extreme negativity like this. You won't though. Because what you'll do is you'll pick and choose and say, but Christianity. You won't say anything about this guy. Instead, what you'll do is you'll wear a tea towel around your neck there and clap and say, oh my God, what's happening over the Middle East? Terrible. You won't go over there and get onto the front line. If you really believed in it. And these same fools, by the way, are the same fools that will then wave a rainbow flag in June. Completely hypocritical stuff going on. But comes as no surprise. So that's what you have here now. The leader of this country, like, think about that for a second. I mean, I try and put this into very, I would say, easy and broad terms of what we're dealing with here. And what I'm showing you, and this is mad to think this, because I even think that this is mad when you sit and think about it for long enough. This is the supposed leader of this country. The alleged Taoiseach of this country, which means chieftain. The alleged chieftain of this country celebrating a foreign religion's holiday instead of celebrating Mother's Day. Like, that's scandalous in my view. Ireland is a Christian nation. Nations have flourished under Christianity and will continue to flourish under Christianity. Is it any wonder the nations that have decided to peel Christianity back and try to attack it over the years have absolutely failed and are faltering? And what I find to be interesting, because I know, and again, this comes with foresight, some people would say, but Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, why haven't those places accepted in their fellow Muslims? The ones that are scarpering off away from their countries, why have they not accepted them into theirs? Why instead has it been the likes of Ireland, the UK, Spain, Germany, France, and all of the other nations across the way that are deciding to have open borders? Poland are based. Hungary too. Why is it that they've scarpered over to these places and not to other nations that are like-minded? That's weird, isn't it? I think that's very strange. But there you have it. You've got the alleged leader of this country deciding to celebrate this and not acknowledge anything to do with this guy doing that. You know what I mean? That is crazy to me. That's crazy when you sit and think about that for long enough. And then you've got the likes of the media then that were cribbing about people over the last number of weeks and have been cribbing about people over the last number of months and indeed years, and none of them have drawn a link between this and highlighted this. What you'll probably see happen in the next year or two is you will start seeing them drawing the link, because incidents are going to just go up and up and up. We have heard about the description and seen the descriptions and seen the pictures, seen the videos of certain people following children, for example, around this country. How long is it going to be until people have a serious incident on their hands to understand that this is incompatible and has been shown to be incompatible with Christian societies? Look at Sweden. Absolute mental stuff going on over there. That's just but one example. It seems that wherever this settles, it causes problems. You've got one chief individual here in this country who has been spouting off about Irish people, calling them isms and islamophobes and all that in our country. And that's when these people don't have a foothold. That's wild, isn't it? So what I'm saying is this. This is who our politicians are. They constantly choose to support the wrong thing and the wrong team. What I think Ireland should be doing is it should be focusing on being a Christian nation, a nation that protects and serves the Irish people, and indeed the people who have descended from the Irish that are long underneath our soil now. Instead of welcoming in a religion and indeed celebrating a prophet that's like that, no thanks is what I would say. And I say that for every other religion too. There's one true religion, and that is the religion of Christianity. End of story. Shame on Micheál Martin yet again. It's absolutely despicable that he didn't celebrate Mother's Day and didn't wish women a happy Mother's Day. But of course, that's par for the course with these people. It's all about the woke nonsense and catering to nonsensical stuff instead of our Irish people. I'm sure the ladies have an awful lot to say about that, and I'm sure the men also do too. Make sure you let me know in the comments down below what you think about it. Make sure you like, share and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Good luck.